Senior analyst Ayaz Khan has joined us. Ayaz, thank you for joining us. As you know, Iran has announced the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, and President Trump has also announced about this. What do you think about this step with respect to de-escalation?
The opening of the Strait of Hormuz and the ceasefire in Lebanon before that. These two events have occurred, and now I believe that things have been finalized. Now only the signing of whatever agreement is to be made remains. And if Donald Trump stands by his announcement that he'll visit Pakistan if a deal is made with Iran, we should prepare to welcome him. In Trump's tweets, he first thanked Iran and then referred to it as the Strait of Iran, effectively acknowledging their ownership of the Strait of Hormuz. Then, after thanking the Prime Minister and the Field Marshal and also expressing gratitude to Pakistan, calling them two truly great figures and wonderful human beings, this highlights Pakistan's significant role. And look, the real game changer here was the Field Marshal's important visit to Iran. He landed in Tehran, which at the time was right in the middle of a war zone, and he did so very publicly, making sure the entire world could see his arrival and take note of it. It's one thing for a general to move around within his own familiar war zone, where he knows the territory and the people, but going into someone else's territory, especially to negotiate under such tense and dangerous circumstances, is a truly massive achievement. And from that point on, it became clear that the single biggest issue for Iran, the thing that was most pressing and urgent for them, was the ceasefire in Lebanon, which was at the very top of their agenda. If you recall, when the ceasefire was first officially announced to the public, the Prime Minister's tweet specifically mentioned that it included Lebanon as well. However, Israel did not accept that interpretation, and instead it actually intensified its attacks, launching hundreds of strikes within just a matter of minutes. This sudden escalation caused things to spiral out of control, and then the United States government had to step in to clarify that the Lebanon ceasefire was not in fact part of the original deal. So there was a lot of confusion and miscommunication surrounding the situation, which only made things more complicated for everyone involved. This proved that the Prime Minister's tweet was correct. It showed that if Lebanon had actually been included in the process, and if Israel had not acted in the way that it did, then things could have been resolved much sooner. In other words, the situation might have been settled more quickly if those circumstances had been different. Regardless of the circumstances, the world is currently praising and recognizing Pakistan's ongoing and increasingly important international role. The most significant point to note is that both of the major parties involved in the conflict, setting Israel aside, were absolutely adamant that if there was to be a mediator, it had to be Pakistan. If talks happen, they will only take place in Islamabad. Iran stated it categorically, and Trump repeated it often. Later, the White House spokesperson confirmed that the next round would also be held in Islamabad. The first round is done, which is definitely a good sign, but Trump clearly needed Pakistan to exit this conflict for things to progress. This is quite similar to the Indo-Pak War, when India actually asked Trump for help. Trump stayed upset with Narendra Modi because Modi never acknowledged that Trump was the one who stopped the war. So, as a result, America reached out and contacted Pakistan. Look, there's been enough war, both sides have suffered heavy losses. In Iran, so many people were physically martyred, their supreme leader was martyred, and then an entire tier of leadership was wiped out. As Donald Trump says, I've changed that third government there, the regime has changed, so now we can talk to them. Obviously, America suffered significant economic losses, and Europe had to endure a lot as well. Inflation rose, along with the prices of petrol, diesel, and gas. We're facing gas issues here, with load shedding occurring. Today, the entire world must have breathed a sigh of relief, and now I believe the final agreement is only a few days away, so we should begin preparing to welcome Donald Trump. If he stands by his word that he will visit Pakistan, then God willing, Pakistan will emerge as the ultimate victor for doing such monumental work for peace. And I believe it's not just Donald Trump, but the entire world should say, thank you, Pakistan.